Good morning, my friends, and welcome to another Coffee Talk with John. I wanted to talk this morning about the paradox of science. The paradox of science. I believe science and spirituality are not separate. But there is a paradox, an issue within science itself that is illuminative. It shines light on something. All science, science does not take leaps of faith. They can't take leaps of faith because of the fact that science is based upon empirical evidence. Science is based upon the fact that they can prove it empirically. The interesting thing about that statement is this. Science has proven that everything that you are looking at is an energy event. Einstein says atoms are not solid. There is an energy event going on. It is literally just an energy event. Einstein also said that everything is made of atoms. And that includes that tree over there, and the air between me and that tree, and the eyes that I'm looking at that tree with. Right? So I'm looking at an energy event. I'm looking at something that is in constant motion, that is literally a construct of a visual representation of something. Now, when you go out of science for a second and go over to spirituality, you find very quickly when you study all different spiritual thought that one of the common truths is that our thoughts are creative. We're creating what you believe you see. And when you look at the world, right, and you're looking for empirical evidence in an illusion, it kind of throws a little monkey wrench into the works. Because the concept of looking for empirical evidence in an illusion is sort of madness, because if you think about the concept of this, I'm a scientist who is trying to prove X theory. I believe X theory is true. And so because I believe X theory is true, and I am looking for X theory, I am actually creating in the illusion the empirical evidence of my belief. And so there's a paradox there, because all science is based upon empirical evidence, but all empirical evidence is based upon our belief. And it comes down to the point where we have to realize that science is this is a question I asked a very scientifically minded person the other day, and I loved his response, because I said, so I explained what I just explained to you, and then I said to him, so is science a dogma? And he said, I'll have to think about that. And he never got back to me, right? I love that response, because he was like, is science a dogma? He had to dive into it, because I explained that all the empirical evidence that makes up science is a product of belief. And that product of belief is shown in the illusion around them, which shows them the empirical evidence. So it's a paradox. And, this person I just mentioned, he and I had a conversation one time about the Big Bang Theory. And I said, the reason why they call it a theory is because it's a theory, right? And it's not a set truth. And he was like, he gave me the look. Never said anything, but he gave me the look. And shook his head no. I was like, no, it's not a theory, it's true, right? That was his belief, right? Now I look at the universe, and I know that scientists believe in the Big Bang Theory because they see the universe is expanding. And they've set that truth as it must be expanding from an explosion, from a Big Bang, right? And I look at the universe and I say, so the universe is expanding because we keep looking further out. We keep thinking bigger thoughts. You think about science. Science is trying to prove the empirical evidence, and they keep looking further out. They just sent a telescope further away than any other telescope that was ever sent, right? The original Voyager mission, it's the furthest thing away from our planet because it keeps going out, right? We keep looking further out, and so our universe is expanding because we are now expanding into a greater outlook. Now, there's a theory in science also that at some point the expansion is going to stop and it's going to turn around and come back to itself. It's going to come back to itself and basically implode, right? Now, I want you to look at this as a metaphor. You're expanding your consciousness, you're looking outside, you're studying this and you're studying that, and your growth is that you're finding this new evidence and these new truths, and it's getting all the way out there, and then you get all the way out there and you suddenly go, oh, I don't need that, I don't need this, I don't need this anymore, and you start to go back into yourself again, and you come back to the realization that you're one with God. Think about that for a second. I mean, that's a same description as what scientists are saying, the Big Bang, and then the reverse of it will be, right? The quote that I like to quote, which is not in the Bible, it's one that I remember. When you seek a path will be laid before you, but until you turn the path back to yourself, you will never find the doorway. It literally comes back to we're expanding and making our consciousness so big, but when we realize everything that we're looking at is just experience, and we start stripping the things away that are not essential, we come back to ourselves, and we find that we were perfect in the beginning. We are the Alpha and the Omega. We are the beginning and the end. We start it, we end it. Our own spiritual journey is the Big Bang and its reverse. And when you look at the paradox of science, trying to prove that through empirical evidence from our belief, that is the path that they have set before them, and so they see the things on the path, and so they see the path. Oh yeah, well this is true, so that's got to be true because look, I can see this. That's one of my favorite things about noetic science, is they're literally studying spirituality, and they're trying to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. And what I find really interesting about that is they're trying to bridge the gap, and they're finding stuff, right? But I think what's going to eventually happen is they're going to go, oh, science is just a pathway within my consciousness to go down. And in this pathway within my consciousness, I can go travel down there all I want, and I can stay down there. Or I can come back to the fact that I am creating it all. And my experience is my experience because it's mine. I'm the one who created it. And so think about that, ponder that today, and realize and feel your way through that. Is that your truth? Is that not your truth? Is that the pathway you want to follow? Is this the pathway I want to follow? Am I truly more than science can possibly say that I am? Is it far more simple than what science makes it? So take a look at that. And you guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.